Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And we are into week 4 of the 2026 winter anime season. It makes sense to begin talking about episode 4 of Journal with Witch by repeating a line that Makio's ex-boyfriend Kasamichi Shingo says, that raising a child and loving them are two separate things. And in a lot of ways, that is very much the subject matter of this episode. We start off with Makio having a night out with her 3 friends from high school. They touch upon the oddity of Makio essentially being a parent, but she rebukes them and it's less of a parent and more of a guardian. Both Asa and Makio don't view their current relationship as a child-parent kind of thing. They're really just estranged roommates, highlighted by the fact that Asa tells Makio that she doesn't need to show up for the opening ceremony for the first day of high school. At which point her friend Emily's mother kind of causes a stink because, she's a busybody that we've been made aware of a few times now. The standard trope of high school debut kind of seeps itself into Asa's mind as she begins to connect with the people that she's going to be in class with for the next 3 years. She feels maybe a sense of jealousy or inadequacy when they're all idly chatting in the hallway. And she pretty much blurts out that her parents died in a car wreck.
It was fucking wild. I was like, girl.
Which is something that she, due to her blow up for her middle school graduation, said that she doesn't want to be the girl with the dead parents. And all of a sudden, she's made that her personality as the introduction to her classmates. But rightfully so, she's concerned with her sudden change of mentality and behavior. But when she brings that up to Makio in conversation, looking for advice, feedback, resistance, Makio does Makio and is just indifferent.
Yeah, she's just like, cool.
Which causes Asa to feel lonely. I would say the catalyst of the loneliness that consumes her this episode. Asa ends up bringing Emily back home, and Makio kind of makes a point about letting her know ahead of time, like sooner than when she's ringing the doorbell, and then in a bit of a huff, secludes herself in a room to begin working on whatever novel she's writing currently. Asa ends up passing out eventually on the couch. Emily lets herself out, and eventually Asa wakes up to find Makio still working, and everything kind of crashes in on her when she realizes that she really is just all alone.
Existential crisis.
Makio treats Asa as a thing in her apartment, or at least that's how she views it. Makio, honestly, as we've stated before, has a hard time living with other people. Like, that's just not her thing. But due to the situation that she's given herself into, she realizes that if she didn't bring Asa in, nobody else would have. And where would that have left her? But that doesn't mean that she loves her. And a lot of that, which she's very aware of, is the hatred she has for Asa's mother and how much it's influencing the way she approaches the daughter. And when Asa approaches her about this, she gets very defensive and tells her that that's something she will never discuss with her, leading Asa to a complex set of emotions. We leave the episode with the 2 women at odds with each other, kind of. Like, they live together in this small apartment, yet they're still incredibly alone and isolated. Makio obviously is intentionally, because that's just her modus operandi.
I think the very beginning is the goal we're trying to get to.
Oh, where there's happiness and comfort between each other, exemplified in the scene where Asa is singing while making breakfast, and Makio just kind of playfully chides at her.
And then falls asleep in the same room that Makio's writing in, and Asa takes a picture of Makio, and it starts to become very more parental.
Makio needs to come to terms with the hatred and feelings for her sister and not have it transpose over Asa.
She needs to learn to separate her hatred of sister from her feelings for Asa. Like she said, she's no longer here. She needs to follow her own advice. Her sister is gone. Both of these women are going to have a lot of growing to do in this series.
I think that was definitely exemplified within this episode, is that they have a long way to go to get to a healthy place where they probably should hopefully end up. I think this was my favorite episode so far just because of how
intense it was.
Yeah, it was a very intense episode.
It was very edge of the seat. I was eating breakfast and I spoonful of oatmeal froze at one point. Oh yeah.
And it was dense with story and it felt a lot longer than it really was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was really good. God, it's such a good episode. I am not versed enough in literary criticism to really do this story the justice it deserves.
I know. It's
There's
very complex.
So much complexity and depth to this story.
Good thing we're just two idiots on the internet talking about anime. Anyway, speaking of idiots, Jujutsu Kaisen. Holy crap, this week, it was one fucking thing. They talked with Tengen for the whole goddamn episode. They basically just rehashed all the rules of the Culling Game and made a plan. They're basically like, all right, got to make a loophole so that we can get people out of the Culling Game without them having to kill people. All right, we need to find a way to break Gojo out of the prison realm. Cool, Gojo broke two of the things that could get him out of the prison realm. There's a bitch in Tokyo that can help us out. Go find her. BT dubs, I need guards. We got a lot of Tengen talking about how he changed because he didn't merge with the Star Realm Plasma Child or whatever. Star Plasma Child, that's it. So he evolved, and Kenjaku is trying to use him to turn everyone into sorcerers by merging with Tengen. So I think the TLDR was good enough for this episode.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to it.
I don't think I really missed anything. It was literally white background with occasional like video game graphics of like their plan and shit.
It made me think of sections of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Long story short, Fushiguro and Itadori need to go find an estranged third year from Jujutsu High. Choso and Yuki are tasked with guarding Tengen. Yuta needs to go participate in the Culling Game so they can earn the 100 points they need to amend the rules. And any of them need to find this girl Angel, who supposedly has the ability to break Gojo out of the prison realm. Oh, and Fushiguro's head of the Zenin family now. And Maki needs to go find... she needs to go get the weapons from the Zenin family thing.
Because the vault got
And then she needs to go find Panda?
Yeah, she wants to go get Panda.
Because the other second year, her speech user, Ido. Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't remember his name. He spoke in sushi topics.
He's spoken bento words.
Yeah, salmon roe. Onigiri.
I'll bring it up again as I brought it up a number of times. The biggest fault of Jujutsu Kaisen is the fact that it treats its audience like a bunch of idiots. The amount of hand-holding and like unnecessarily, excruciatingly in-depth explanation of what the hell is going on could have been an email. I mean, it was an email. At the end of episode 2, all you got to do is pause the screen, which I didn't care about. Yeah, didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. And Tengen, terrible character design. Hate it.
This was a very boring episode.
Hate it. Yeah, but whatever, all the visuals, and it didn't help with like the weird elevator music, techno background music, really made me think of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
I did chortle at Chozo still being the best character in the series.
And now we're not going to see him unless Tengen suddenly comes under siege.
I know, but it was adorable when Yuji was like, "Hey Chozo, thanks for being awesome." And he started crying, and Yuki's like, "Are you crying?" And he just goes, "Shh."
Yeah, that was pretty good. No, I like Chozo.
Chozo is adorable. He is a cinnamon roll.
Youngest Child did a slight spoil for me for the next episode. Apparently, the internet is comparing it to Kill Bill. So we'll find out next week.
Yeah, is there anything else we want to say about Jujutsu Kaisen this week? It was a really boring episode.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing.
But a not boring episode, we have My Hero Academia Vigilantes. We open with Koichi trying to continue to master his new technique of, holy shit, I can shoot things out of my hands now. I love that he's getting this growth this season. It's making me happy. And he goes out on patrol while Popstep has to do an excruciating amount of homework. While this is happening, he comes across a villain who, throughout the entire episode, keeps getting compared to an octopus and a squid. They can't really figure out what species because the number of arms keeps changing. I know Aizawa finally denotes it as a squid instead of an octopus, but everybody else is just like, squid, octopus, who knows? This villain is tearing apart the city, and Koichi, in his infinite wisdom, tries to take him on. And, ends up getting chased by this thing and tries not to use his powers, his new projectile powers, because it's even more illegal than being a vigilante to throw a projectile of your powers in public. So he's running through the city trying to find a hero or the cops or anybody. And as Aizawa is enjoying a hot cup of coffee at this back alley convenience store that really doesn't want him to be there, Koichi bursts in and is like, "Oh shit, it's Eraserhead. Yo, I got a villain chasing me. Help." Yeah, we get a jam-packed episode of Aizawa, Koichi, and then the two grasshopper dudes trying to beat up this villain. They all team up, and they also bring in the praying mantis guy. A huge battle breaks out, and they end up capturing him and then accidentally letting him go. After this, the villain escapes, and the lightning bolt guy with the scar on his face ends up beating the living shit out of the Incredible Bulk. And with the Incredible Bulk getting his ass beat, he throws a rock or scratches the dude's face. Dude freaks out, has this like whole identity crisis about, I can be the only one that put scars on my face, blah, blah, blah.
Well, because he had purposely scarred himself as an homage to the hero or villain that he looks up to.
Yeah. And so beats him within an inch of his life. Koichi's like, yo, get away from that dude. As he finds him beating the shit out of him, dude disappears, and they finally arrest the Squidtopus. Octosquid. Whatever you want to call him. Oh, and Lightning Bolt dude steals some blood from the octopus guy.
Well, he's got to get a sample for his handler.
Yep.
Is there... No, doing research.
That's pretty much where the episode ends.
Well, it ends with Eraserhead being very suspicious of Koichi. When he and Popstep bump into them and the detective, whose name I don't remember.
I think he's trying to protect Koichi from the inspector. No, very entertaining episode.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. It was good. The last two episodes have been good. They made up for episode 2 being really boring.
The fucking praying mantis guy is hilarious.
The three of them dudes, the two brothers and the praying mantis guy, they are
hilarious.
They're good dummies. They're lovable idiot.
I like how when they first introduced them, we both were just like, oh God, they look like Super Sentai.
Which they did again this episode, and I groaned. I'm like, oh, stop it.
But it's funny at this point.
It is.
It's because we know them as characters. They're just bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
And they just so happened to get powers that make them look like Super Sentai.
Yeah. Yes.
But they're dumb. They're dumb. They're idiots. So I think that endears me to them more. I also just like how Aizawa is just like,
next episode should be interesting. I ended up watching the preview.
Oh, you know what? Then this time I didn't watch the preview.
Koichi's going to a mixer.
Hell yeah.
We'll get Pop Step jealousy. Journal with Witch, strongest episode so far with episode 4.
Just very good.
I think I'm going to rewatch the episode. Honestly, I think I'm going to rewatch the series and pay even more attention and use the knowledge I've already gained to try to understand more and pick out more of the nuances. I feel it's that important. I knew it was going to be interesting. I didn't expect it to be
this interesting.
Such a high caliber of writing.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm sad this episode of JJK this week.
It was an info dump that was not necessary.
Yeah. This is the worst info dump they've done all series.
Yeah,
they have never info dumped this hard at us.
And then MHA Vigilantes keeps being lovable.
Oh, it's so quirky and I love it. Ha ha. Quirky, get it?
Got it. We got anything else?
Not that I can think of. As always, check us out on our socials. Follow us here on YouTube or wherever you do listen to us so that you can get notifications about when we upload things. Tell us how you felt about JJK this week.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, yeah. Sorry. We're a little bit behind. I forget that.
We're a week behind on purpose.
And if you're watching Journal with Witch with us, give us your feedback too. I want 2 homework assignments this week. Give us your feedback and how you feel about JJK episode 3, and then analyze Makio and Asa's relationship and just give us a little blurb about how you feel about it, if you're on the same page with us or not. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful week. And as always, check out our other series going on Wednesdays, Weekly Ranma, where we talk about the OAVs of Ranma 1/2 from the 90s. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you all next week on the Otaku Network podcast.